Hi, my name's Aaron Carpenter, and I'm here to help you get the most out of your NDIS plan by having the information you need. My experience with the scheme is both personal and professional as an NDIS participant and a provider within the scheme. This information is brought to you by AFDO, the Australian Federation of Disability Organisations. AFDO is a disabled people's organisation. That means most of their members and workers are people with a disability. AFDO works with national and state disability advocacy organisations run by and for people with disability and their families, representing Australians with disability. Disabilityloop is run by AFDO. It is your go-to online resource for NDIS news, information, updates and events. You can download fact sheets about this presentation and all the others in the series too from www.disabilityloop.org.au. So let's get started. Talking about goals, services and supports, what it means, how to identify them and how you use them. In the NDIS, the word support means a service from someone or an item that can help you do the things that are not possible or harder for you to do because of your disability. This could be assistance from a support worker, a therapy from a professional therapist, a piece of technology, or a modification to your environment. NDIS supports that are funded must be reasonable and necessary for the person with disability, as defined under the NDIS Act. It is important to understand what reasonable and necessary means because the NDIS talks about it all the time, especially during NDIS planning. Basically, reasonable means fair and necessary means related to your disability. To be considered reasonable and necessary, a support must be related to the participant's disability, must assist the participant to pursue their goals, objectives and aspirations, must help the participant to increase their independence and take part in community, social and economic activities, should represent value for money, must be likely to be beneficial and effective for the participant, should take into account what is reasonable for families and informal networks as available to provide, and should consider what is provided by formal, mainstream government and community services. The necessary part of reasonable and necessary means that the supports are required to build your capacity and participate in society in a dignified manner and as an equal citizen. So where do your goals fit into what is reasonable and necessary? Your goals help work out what supports could be funded by the NDIS. Having goals and objectives is really important, as is building skills in different areas of life as an effective way of reaching these. Goals and objectives are unique to each individual because every person has different needs. This means that the NDIS looks at each goal and objective individually when thinking about what services and supports would be reasonable and necessary for each NDIS participant. Thinking carefully about your goals is often more important than thinking about the actual services and supports that you want. The NDIS has developed a list of 8 outcome domains to reflect different parts of ordinary life where people may need support. These are useful for helping set goals and also help planners to explore with you where supports in these areas already exist and where further supports are required. The domains are daily living, home, health and well-being, lifelong learning, work, social and community participation, relationships, choice and control. When you're thinking about these different areas of your life and setting goals, you might want to consider where you live and how that works best or could be improved, relationships that you have with others or want to have, your health and well-being, education and other learning opportunities, work, both volunteer and paid opportunities, social and community activities and what you're interested in doing with others, and your likes and dislikes, what is important for you to do more of and what you want to do less of. Now that we have all that information, let's talk about what types of supports are funded. There are a range of supports that the NDIS will fund, and this is by no means a comprehensive list, but some of those supports are included here. Help with daily personal activities such as bathing, dressing and eating, meal preparation and delivery. Transport so you can participate in community, social, economic and daily life activities. Workplace help so you can successfully get or keep employment in the open or supported workforce. Therapeutic supports like speech therapy, behavioural support, physiotherapy, occupational therapy or psychology. help with household tasks like cleaning and gardening so you can maintain your home environment, help from skilled staff in aids or equipment assessment, setup and training, home modification design and construction like installation of ramps or widening of doorways, mobility or communication equipment and information technology, and vehicle modifications. Remember that every person and every plan is different, so funding will always be different too because it's based on individual circumstances. There are some disability-related health supports that can be purchased using NDIS funding. The typical types of disability-related health support available can be grouped into 8 support categories: continence supports, diabetic management supports, dysphagia, swallowing disorders supports, epilepsy supports, nutrition supports, podiatry supports, respiratory supports, wound and pressure care supports. If you need these type of health supports but they are not in your current plan, you can use any unspent core supports budget in your NDIS plan to purchase disability-related health supports, except for assistive technology over a certain value. Alternatively, you can continue to receive support from your state or territory health service and inform them that you're an NDIS participant. Your health service can then support you to seek a plan review. When it is time for your plan review, you can discuss your need for these disability-related health supports, and they will be included in your plan if they are reasonable and necessary. Another important part of participating in the NDIS is value for money. This means that funded supports must bring value for money to the NDIS and to you as the participant. It doesn't mean supports must be the lowest price possible. It just means they must bring the best benefit to you in relation to the cost of the support or service. Supports must be also beneficial and effective, meaning they are known to be helpful and that they will work for you. It also means the support is recognised as good practice by professionals working in the relevant area. You'll also hear the term informal supports, which means any unpaid supports and arrangements that are part of family life or natural connections with friends or available community services. These are taken into account by when your plan is being put together. Formal supports are mainstream supports available and provided by governments or community services like transport, health and education. That's all now on goals, services and supports for now. Have a look at some other videos in this series about making the most of your NDIS plan. You can also find more information and downloadable handouts from this and other videos at disabilityloop.org.au. For the most recent and detailed information, always use the NDIS website at www.ndis.gov.au.